Okay, so let's go back to the nuts and bolts of an IP audit. So we've talked about why it's important to do this. And let's say again, for a startup or a scale up, and we've decided, okay, we want to do this. Sounds, yeah, I went to this webinar. Sounds like a good idea. And I decide to hire you. And we talked about why I would hire you versus other people and who else. Okay, so now what's going to happen?
Okay, so I'll give you a true life example. Client of mine, October 2019, came to me with his innovation and a provisional patent that was going to expire in 2 months. Okay, but he happened to mention in the conversation, I've had some a new idea of how to enhance what I already have. Great. So he wanted to file another provisional patent to draw his line in the sand, because it was different enough that the original patent wouldn't warrant a full patent application being added to it. So he let that expire, the first one. He filed another, and then we started going through, okay, so you've now got another provisional patent. Tell me your goal as to what you actually want to do with this. Do you want to sell the patent? Do you want to sell the intellectual property? Do you want to license it out? Are you wanting to go into operations and give up your, he's a doc. So the answer was pretty quick. I want to sell it. Okay, so to fast forward to today, he's got a full patent application in. He's got a copyright that surrounds the patent because it tells the story of how this can be used. He's got a trademark for what he wants to call it, and he's wrapped them all into an LLC that he didn't have when I first met him.
But in terms of what, yeah, but in terms of what you actually did, so if I hire you to do the audit, what in fact will you do?
I did all this recommendation. I pushed him to file a full patent, made him understand why he needed that to maximize his exit price. I advised him to build a portfolio with the copyright, and I advised him to have his own name as a trademark on this. And basically, he wasn't just going to sell a patent. He's now got 3 items to sell. Based on the other story that I told you about the oil and gas guys, you know, he's probably almost tripled his monetization process.
So is it fair to say that your core competence is intellectual property strategy? Like here's the strategy that aligns with your business strategy, and make recommendations as far as what to do with the strategy. Because you're not an intellectual property lawyer, you got to find a lawyer to file these patents. You have to file the stuff in the IP portfolio. Maybe here's some things you do to create a patent fence to prevent other people from infringing, that kind of stuff. Is that correct?
That's correct. I always say that I'm the first person in, and if they're selling or licensing out the IP, I'm the last person out. So as the first person in on the portfolio, IP portfolio build, that's what we do. And then as time moves on and things click into place, and the intent of the client is either sale or license, that I step back in and we succeed in doing that. And I'm the last person out.
What's this cost?
Which bit, or all of it?
No, if I want to do an IP audit, how much is it going to cost me as a startup CEO?
Okay, so I charge $300 an hour, and it really depends on the initial conversations that I've had with the client as to if they get it, let's call it that way. Then it might take a couple of hours to roll everything out. If they don't get it and need further an explanation and in depth, might take an extra hour or two.
Okay, so we're talking, you know, I mean, who knows what IP attorneys obviously in general are going to cost more than that. And who knows how long it's going to take or how much versus what you're doing. But the ballpark, and I appreciate your candor, is $1,000 to do this, 1,500, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, just for the, just educating the client into the importance of what he should have, explaining the tangible value of adding this to the startup.